Hey friends, today we are talking about a powerhouse brand voice, one that stands out, gets noticed, and on top of it all is authentically you, which is everything, right? Like that's what we truly want is we just want to be ourselves. Oh, I know for me, I've been an entrepreneur for over 15 years, and my first business was a photography business. And at that time, I was in the 3rd phase. I didn't know it at that then, but, I was in the 3rd phase of of the 6th line where it's all about trial and error. I have to get in and get my hands dirty and try things and do it myself, right? And I really didn't understand who I was yet. I was young, I was 24, so really understanding who I was lost. I was really lost, and, when you don't know who you are, your brand voice gets influenced by everything else. It gets influenced by other successful people. It's influenced by how you feel that day. It gets influenced by what your clients are saying, or the fact that whether you have clients or not clients, right? Your brand voice becomes influenced by all these other things when you don't have a solid understanding of who you authentically are. And 100% that's what happened to me in my photography business. One day I would be super sassy, the next day I'd be esoteric and poetic. Like it was all over the board. And I truly think that that's why I didn't book as many clients as I could have because I wasn't clear in who I was and I wasn't clear in who I was helping, really. Um, my brand voice was random. It was, every time I showed up, it was different, it had different energy behind it, the whole thing, right? Now, 15 years later, I understand who I am and also then how I communicate the best, right? And this is really where human design comes in. I want to give you 3 things to chew on to really understand how to build your own powerful brand voice. uh, because it is so, so important to be able to stand out. Like I said, like if you don't know what your brand voice is, if you're not confident in what your brand voice is, then you're influenced by everything else around you. And that is no way to build a confident business. That's no way to get what you're after, right? Like you will not, it'll be a hell of a lot harder to be successful. I don't want to say never because that's a strong word. It'll be a lot harder. You'll have to hustle a lot more when you don't know who you are and you don't have your consistent brand voice. You're, it's not, there's no confidence there, right? When you have the confidence in who you are and your brand voice and what you're here to say, then you can do anything. You can create any business because you know exactly what you're here to do and exactly you're here to help, uh, all of it. So, number one is understanding your human design energetics. You knew that was coming, right? You have to understand how your aura type works. You have to understand how your definition works. You have to understand how your profile line influences everything. You can get there, and I'm actually going to do some like breakdowns of famous people that likely don't. I don't know. Maybe they know about human design. I don't know. But you can get to this place without human design. I think human design just speeds up the process and like skips steps and allows you to go straight to the heart of it instead of trying to stumble around and figure this out for yourself, right? It really hones in on exactly what you're here to communicate. And it really shows you how you can be authentic, how you can be yourself when you understand the energy and what's going on in your chart. And that's where an expert, somebody that can really unpack your chart, is helpful. So, number one is understanding how your energy works. Somebody that is a projector cannot go out and be a manifester because it's not going to feel authentic. It's going to feel like you're in a like scratchy wool sweater. It doesn't, right? Um, it doesn't, it doesn't fit. So, number two is an embodied writing practice. So, this means, like I said, if you don't know who you authentically are, and even if you do, there's still an element of being influenced by the outside world and the energy that you're absorbing on a daily basis. So if you sit down to write or sit down to do a live, first having an embodied practice. And this means a practice where you can meditate, ask your guides, like whatever your spiritual inclination is or practice is, and clear your energy so that when you are speaking or when you are writing, it's you coming through and not someone else. You're not pushing through the energy that you absorbed by reading someone else's social media post, right? I definitely have noticed this within myself and even with my clients that if you're scrolling on Instagram or Facebook prior to writing, all of that energy that you're picking up on by scrolling is then being infused into your writing. And the only way to like shut that down is to have an embodied writing practice where you're clearing the energy first and then you can come through. Your voice can come through. Your authentic energy is in it and not someone else's, right? And that is so important. I honestly believe that like consistently posting isn't necessarily necessary. Necessarily says necessary, but the energy behind it is 100% necessary. You have to have your energy, your authenticity, your essence in that post, in that live for it to really go out and do the hard work for you, right? Um, I teach my clients that you can like code, like you charge your content, like you do crystals, right? You charge your content with your energy and with like a blessing to go out and find the people that are your people, your soul sister clients, and they will resonate with it. And like you put the intention behind what you want your ideal client to do with this content, right? That's part of the embodied writing practice. And the third thing is really clearly communicating and understanding what it is you do and how it changes people's lives. So this piece I feel like is the biggest one. There's a little bit of strategy behind it for most healers and coaches, right? Like your work is so deep and esoteric that to get specific is really hard. You're like, I don't know. Everyone can use my work. I don't know. I teach people to be confident. I teach people to trust their intuition. Well, those are great things. We don't buy them. We don't buy understanding my intuition. At least most people don't. We're not there yet. Most people are still very much in their own 3D world. They're not in the 5D. And so we need to bring that 5D language into a 3D world. And doing that is getting specific as to how their life is going to change. How is my life going to be different now that I'm confident? What am I able to do? And this comes back to the people that you really love to work with, right? You can identify a really specific scenario when you think about the person that you love to work with. Like, well, they can confidently set boundaries around their needs. And so they have time for self care and their family honors it, right? And their husband honors it and he's supportive in it, right? They get getting specific to a pain point that they probably have. Like they feel like they can't do self care or put the boundaries in place because their family is always like coming in, they say, I'm going to have my quiet time. And then their kid walks in or their husband says, when's dinner ready? Right. Like the people in their life aren't honoring the boundaries that they're trying to put in. And you can help them really find the confidence to put those boundaries in place and keep them there and really honor everyone in their, sphere of influence. Right. But everyone's working together and they have the confidence to put their boundaries in place. Does that make sense? So let's let's go into the human design piece because I want to dive a little deeper into this. Um, Ra always said that all of the energy in your chart is moving through your chart and up and out the throat to make manifest, right? Your thoughts, you speak your thoughts, you make reality. So, how is the energy in your chart working through all the different centers and channels to come up and out your throat, right? Even if you have an undefined throat and there isn't a direct channel to it, right? There's still the opportunity to get that energy out and that essence out. So it's really about expressing your essence, expressing what your soul is here to communicate. And there is a theme. There's always a theme. This is what I love about human design. You read a chart and you go into like there's specific areas I always look at, and they always come back to a theme of some kind within your life. And then when I tell them about their theme, they're like, "Oh yeah, that's 100% like I want to talk about that." The thing that you want to talk about is going to feel really easy. It's going to feel really effortless. It's going to feel good, and it's going to feel like I finally get to be me is what it feels like. When you hit that essence on the head, when you're trying to communicate something because you saw another coach talking about that, or you saw another successful person doing or writing posts in a certain way. And so you're like, well, they're successful, so I should do that too. You're not getting at your essence. What we do together when I work one-on-one or in the academy and even the DIY stuff is really helping you understand your essence and what it is that your soul is here to communicate so that you can fuse that with what your passion is, right? Your experience, and then clearly communicate that to your soul clients. Because when you are speaking from your definition and speaking with your essence, like your music to your ideal clients' ears. They're like, tell me more. They resonate and they're like just oozing to work with you because that's what they're attracted. That's the thing that they're looking for. So if you're covering up your brand voice, if you're covering up who your essence is, they can't find you, right? You have to come out 100% as you, unadulterated and confident and honestly, no give fucks, excuse the language, but you don't give a fuck what other people think. This is you, and that's all that matters because you are speaking to the people that you are meant to work with, and they will see you, resonate with you, and want to work with you, right? Okay. That was the doc. That is the energy that we want in your brand voice. Okay. So to recap, number one, understanding your energy. Number two, embodying your writing practice. So, really understanding how to decondition other people and their energy so that your energy can come through. And I still do this on every single time because there's still like, I'm open. I have openness. Um, I still am influenced, right? Every time I scroll, I'm pulling in other people's energy, right? You got to decondition that. And then the third one is clearly communicate what it is you do and why it matters to them, right? Those three things give you the powerful brand voice that gets noticed, that people are like, what is she doing? Right? That's what this does. That's the powerful brand voice. And everyone has one, whether you're projector, reflector, manifester, generator, manifesting generator, does not matter. Everyone has a powerful, everyone's voice matters. Everyone's voice needs to be heard and especially heard by those that they need to work with. Okay. That was so good. If you want more information to dive into, to really integrate and need support around integration, please reach out for more private coaching. Also, check out the content portal for any DIY stuff, human designer packs, all of it. It's all there for you when you are ready. So thank you so much and go be you, babe.